Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are taking a look at another 3D printed Babe. This one is Vulpes. So many of you guys are not going to know what this is, who owns this, or what this is from, so we'll go over it real quick. I did do kind of a sort of poor man's paint job on this. I'll probably at some point get another one of these to like make a display piece out of, and I'll actually like sand it down and paint it properly, but I honestly just used some Sharpie paint markers for this, just to give it some color. So anyway, this is Vulpes. So I don't know if you can make out that big beast right there. So this is owned by Makota from the Game Boy Advance game. She's a kind of a recurring character in a couple of the games. And she's one of the few female Beybladers in the anime. And unfortunately, they didn't make her Beyblade. I think it would have been cool. I think the shape is pretty interesting. Obviously, it's very square when you look at it, but it's got these cool tails. It is a nine-tailed sort of fox thing, so very cool looking, and it's got a really interesting gimmick for its blade base. It's kind of got this step lip right here, which makes it pretty good for LAD. So here is the attack ring by itself. Again, very cool design. This one's pretty chunky. So the Game Boy Advance game that this is from came out in the V-Force era, or Bakuten Shoot 2002. So it kind of matches that. Like if I were to pull out a V-Force Beyblade, they kind of get chunkier as they progressed, whereas like first season the attack rings were typically pretty thin. So here is a good example. This is Drigger V2, and you can kind of see it's kind of a little bit thicker. So, and then towards the end of G-Rev, you've definitely got some chonkier boys. So there's a kind of closer shot of the Bit Beast. Now, the Game Boy Advance game actually came with a sticker sheet that has Vulpes on it. So the Game Boy Advance game comes with a sticker for Guardian Drigger, and then on the opposite side you can see the two bit chips for Vulpes and Pegasus, or Pegasun, or whatever the heck it's called. Pegason. So this is Makota's brother's Bit Beast. Here. This is actually technically the first Pegasus in Beyblade. So this predates, what is it, Torch Pegasus? So yeah, fun fact, this is the first Pegasus. And then here we've got Vulpes as well. So I believe this is the only official bit chip for Vulpes, but I could be wrong. Now, the stock combo comes with wide defense, which is this one, which would end up protecting the attack ring pretty well. Obviously, the tips of these points here are still exposed, but I guess a little extra protection. But I had this, which is a weight disc from the second PS1 game, Bakuten Shoot 2002. Gold, it looks cool, so I'm using this instead. So yeah, there it is, guys, and we'll do a quick test battle. Now, the guy that made this warned me that because of the way that these points are shaped, it is possible that these would break. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. It's maybe one of the reasons why this didn't get produced, I'm not sure. But we're gonna battle it anyway. If it breaks, it breaks, and you know, whatever. I'll order another one, so which I plan to do for display anyway. So this one we're gonna battle with and see how good it would have been if it had come out. So it is on a sharp tip. The one that I got was like fairly sharp. I kind of sanded down the tip a little bit because I don't want to like puncture a hole or dent the stadium or anything. So yeah, we'll just we'll give it a try. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and put it up against Flash Leopard 2, so this is also on a sharp tip, so yeah, we'll just see how it does. All right, so it didn't do particularly amazing. I did have a little bit of chipping here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Same thing with this side. It's sort of chipped a little bit towards the edge. So I imagine that the very tips of these will probably end up chipping off. I think this is one of those things that you could probably fix with like a print though. Like if you just shorten these points, just rounded them out a little bit, it would probably be less likely to chip those off. Although, again, not a huge issue. I'm just going to use this for, you know, kind of novelty battles anyway, and I'll end up getting another one for display that I'll spend a little more time sanding down and like giving a better paint job or stickers. But overall, very cool to have. I don't think this would have been particularly great if we had gotten this in real life. I think maybe it would have done a little better on maybe like a rubber tip, which I'm actually going to try real quick. We'll throw together an attack combo and see if this does any better. Hopefully, you know, one of these points doesn't completely snap off. All right, so we've got the Vulpes attack ring with wide defense. It doesn't really cover these contact points, so that's why I'm using it. It's fairly heavy. And then we're using the Dragoon S blade base with a right spin gear. So this time we're going to be going up against Drigger V2. It hit it so hard the bit chip sticker came off. The heck? Yeah, that's lost its stick. All right. Yeah, so there it is, and it's holding up pretty well. Like I said, I'm not super surprised that the very tips of these are kind of chipping here. But I think that once sort of the edges of these kind of wear out, I don't think the whole thing would snap off. I think just the edges would kind of get some chipping and kind of wear in there. And then once they shorten a little bit, it'd probably be pretty solid. So again, I think that's one of those things that, like, if they were to modify this print at all, if they just rounded out the tip there, I think this would be structurally even better. They could even potentially bridge the 2 points. I think that might help too. If they were just to create a little cross section right here, maybe at the bottom, that way it's not like super noticeable. I think that might help. But overall, I think, like, for attack, I think this this attack ring would have been good. I think it probably would have been pretty competitive. The blade base, probably not so much. Again, the spin gear is not removable, so you don't have like the metal weight in there. This is probably lighter than a typical blade base would be. But the gimmick's kind of interesting. Like, it's got that sort of, like I said, that step right there, which is kind of cool for LAD. I don't know how useful it is realistically, but because it's V-Force, you probably would have been able to do support parts. So imagine like this, but with like the Dronzer V2 support part, or like a Voltaic Ape or something, just to extend that blade base out. Might have been pretty cool. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this Beyblade. Again, I'm gonna put a link to the store down in the description where you can get these, and if you want to grab one. The dude's got like a ton of other stuff as well. I don't know if you saw my Galax video, but he's got like all kinds of unreleased Beyblades and sort of replacement parts and things like that. So very cool stuff, and surprisingly held up pretty well. I was really expecting maybe like this whole thing to snap off, but it just kind of chipped the edges. So very cool.